Hello and welcome to Drayton Manor. My name's Matt, this is the Coaster Giant channel, and I thought I'd pop down in half term just to do a little closed season update. Last time I was here at Christmas we looked at the Flying Dutchman and how it had been dismantled and a few other bits going on around the park, so I thought I'd come down for the day, have a wander around, check out the Flying Dutchman, see if anything else has changed and have a little wander around the zoo as well. So let's get straight into it. So we can see Loki is definitely still in winter maintenance mode. All of the panels are on the floor and you can see right into it. And down in the Jormungandr queue, same as in the last video, all of the boats, the ships from the Flying Dutchman are still lined up in the queue line. It doesn't look like these have moved at all. They've had all of the metalwork put back in and then the fiberglass casing put on, but they still haven't put the seats in. But they pretty much do this every year. They completely strip it down, and then you can see the ones over there, actually they look like they have been finished with the seats back in. Yeah, this is cool. A lot goes into maintaining these rides. And over at the site of the Flying Dutchman, they're still planning for the future apparently. And we can see over, it's only a little fence, we can see over it quite easily, the ride is still in bits. So in my last video from Drayton we talked about this and what could be happening here, and speculated on a new ride coming to this area to fit the theme better for Frontier Falls. But yeah, literally absolutely nothing has changed with this. Everything's in exactly the same place. I did notice this for the Christmas event. They've put loads of new flagpoles up right the way from the main entrance right the way back to the main stage over there. And they're all like concreted into the ground. And they've all got different coloured lights that run between them as well, so it's quite pretty. I think I've just spotted something new over in Adventure Cove, but before we check that out, let's go and have a look around the zoo. So randomly, inside the reptile house, we've got a new animal. We've got dwarf mongoose in this centre enclosure. How cute are they asleep on that log? Oh, he's awake. So yeah, this used to have a snake in it. See, they've boarded up some of the windows as well, so you get a bit more privacy by the looks of it. They are very cute. Over in the very back corner of the zoo, this enclosure has all the ground's been ripped up, it's very wet, very muddy. Now, in the 5-year plan, I think for 2024, there was something listed about a raised walkway from Thomasland, which is just over there behind these trees, and the zoo, which would be cool because it would make a nice loop around the zoo and then back into the park. So I wonder if that's got something to do with this, or if there's some kind of new animals coming. But you can see all around the edge has been dug up. There's a big trench through the middle of this. In fact, I'll raise you up over here. And then raised ground over there, making a pool in the middle. This used to just be flat grass. But yeah, it looks a real mess at the minute. So I'm not sure what's going on here. The the emus used to be here, but now they're over there. So yeah, this is empty. But you can see there's a little thing being cut out down to the lake in the middle there, so maybe they're getting ready for some new animals in this area. But this whole back area of the zoo is looking very tired. There's a tree that came down in the storms, that was like that at Christmas. It smashed the fence, which means there's no animals in this massive paddock either. You can see how close it gets to the houses here. But yeah, there used to be deer and all sorts in these fields. And this area is huge, a massive part of the zoo, so if they could utilise this a little bit better, I would love to see that, because I think there's still legs in having a zoo here. I think it does need some work, definitely. They are slowly adding new things, which is good to see. But this area could be great. They could have walk-through attractions. They could have West Midlands Safari Park, they have the maracutes where you can feed the maracutes. That'd be quite cool. They've got a building over the back there where the Thomas train used to be, the model train thing. And if they could get some wallabies and have a walk through wallaby enclosure like at Flamingo Land, that kind of thing, something a little bit more interactive with the animals would be really good in this area, because it's huge. yeah, I'd definitely like to see this used. It's not anywhere near its full potential at the minute. I can't see anything in this one either. Maybe something in that little tunnel there. Can't tell if that's fluffy animals or if it's just straw. It looks quite fresh straw though, so maybe there is something in there, but nothing out in these fields. So over in the back corner, that used to be like the farmyard area. It used to be the driving school and everything around here. It's all still shut off. And again, this is all next to the big paddock fields. So if they are planning to do something with this area and all of that, it's a massive space. They could do something really cool with the zoo in this bit. So we've just got back from the zoo and we went to the tapir and the capybara talk. There was no one else there, it was just literally the three of us that are here today. Just chatting to the zookeeper, and it was really cool. We obviously learned quite a lot about the animals, but we also learned about how zoos work and how they all work together and how the breeding programs work. So really interesting. And she didn't give us any details at all. We couldn't get anything out of her, but she did say there's a lot of projects planned for the zoo, which is really good to hear. So all of that area that we looked at before, where there's like some kind of building work going on, there's obviously been diggers and stuff in there. There's planned to move some animals that are already in the zoo into that area and make a new themed area. And then, yeah, again, wouldn't tell us anything about what animals and what was actually happening, but there's some cool projects coming to the zoo, and they do want to start reusing all of that area at the back, so the old farmyard area and everything. Sounds like that's up for redevelopment, so exciting times for the zoo. It's going to be really good to see some investment in that area. If you're as old as me, you'll remember this little bit. The back of the first bit of the zoo used to be penguins in there, and over here used to be sea lions, and this was all boarded off until recently, and now it's all being opened up. So yeah, let me know in the comments, do you remember when there were sea lions in here? It's a tiny enclosure. It's mad that they used to have 2 sea lions in here. But I remember being scared of them when I was a kid. But they've like freshly cut down all the trees and all the bushes and stuff that have grown around the edge whilst the fences have been up. So I wonder if this is also going to be developed soon. You've got this big pool area, and then over there you've got the house and a separate little pool. But yeah, it'd be good to see this brought back to life again as well. So these cranes used to be in with the dik-diks, which were over here. But they've now been moving to this big aviary. So they're all there chilling out with all the other birds in here now.
I've got 5 walnuts.
So you know what, I don't think I've ever seen the dik-diks out in the paddock before. So now they've moved the big cranes out of the way. Maybe they're a bit more confident. Look at him just sat there chewing.
He's having a look. He might move a bit.
Just looking at their lake levels, and you can see just on around the pirate ship, around the Bounty, you can see where the lake usually is up to in terms of the water. But it's definitely a lot lower than normal, and over here where it usually spills over this to feed the lake over there, it's completely running dry. Maybe that's just something like to do with flood control, or maybe it's to give them access to under the Bounty. But yeah, I know last year they actually totally drained this lake, but this year it's just a little bit down. So I was just looking out across the lake, and over past Stormforce, you know the little concrete tunnel that you go through after the first drop? It used to be like a light blue. It was painted up at the start of last season, I think. It's been painted a dark green now, which seems a bit of a strange colour to choose because everything else is blue and orange and yellow on that ride. So yeah, that's interesting, but hopefully I'll try and zoom in a bit now, and then you can see it's definitely a very different coloured green. Okay, I've just spotted there's some fencing around the dodgems as well. I know they used this a couple of years ago. They did some maintenance on other rides in here, so just used the fact that it was a covered area. Let's see if we can see anything in here. There's not a lot to see in there. There's just all the dodgems are in there, and some of the cars off the driving school are in there as well. But I guess it's just like a little bit of a workshop for them at the minute. So from this angle you can see that all the walls have been painted as well. I think that wall's been changed. I'm sure it was more of a fence before, but the wall looks quite high now. It's all green. And then it's like, it looks like they're turning it into a living wall. Like it looks like green plants on the side of it. So I don't know what that's about and how that represents anything to do with being on the sea to fit the theme of the ride, but reserve judgment until it opens at the end of March. So there are lots of cherry pickers and stuff around in Adventure Cove. I don't know what else is going on. They're just outside Maelstrom. It's looking quite clean. Maybe it's had a jet wash actually. And I've seen reports as well that Shockwave's had a jet wash. And do you know what? From here, this is obviously as close as we can get. But it is looking pretty fresh. Let's see if we can get a better look from up at this end. Do you know what? If you can hear me over this wind, I think it has been jet washed. It looks very, very clean over here. Definitely all this side looks fresh and clean. You can see from the loop has still got some of like the green algae on it that was kind of over everything last year. But it's good to see that getting a bit of love. Definitely looks better. It actually looks the same colour as this fence now. So it looks a little bit more vibrant. I feel like they've cut all the trees down around here as well. It feels very much more open. And there's some scaffolding stuff around there. Last time I was here, all of the seats were off air race, so that's all been reinstalled now. Yeah, that's looking good. That's a good step forward for the wave. Just outside the entrance as well, we've got all these new containers with plants in. This whole area is looking a lot cleaner and fresher than it used to actually. There's planters all around here as well. And still got all the holes where all of the... Remember Christmas, there was Christmas trees all the way down here and all the holes still in the floor filled in. I was just thinking that the Jolly Buccaneer, it looks a bit naked and I couldn't work it out, but there's usually sails on each ship, just on the front in them little holes. So I hope they come back. Hopefully they've just been taken off to have a little bit of a refresh over close season. But it looks really strange without it. You really miss them being on there. I cannot wait for the sun to be back out and that bar to be open and having a nice pint by the lake in the sunshine. It's a million miles away from where we are today. And over from this angle, again you can see that green wall. Not sure how I feel about that, you know. It's very strange that it's like a living wall on the other side. I wonder if that means there's not going to be any waterfalls there in future. Yeah, who knows? That's really strange. I can see some like clouds of dust or smoke or something as well over there just near Shockwave. I don't know if that's just some stuff just blowing in the wind because it's very windy here today. But you can definitely see from over here that there's a far brighter blue track on the wave than there was last year. It was really grimy and it needed a jet wash. It could do with a repaint really, but that would cost a lot of money. But yeah, if you look over that way, I don't know if the camera picks it up, but the loop and the first drop, that's all still quite green. But then as you come around here, the blue gets far more vibrant. So it looks like they've done all the lower parts of the track and they just now need to get up there and jet wash that loop and the first drop. But yeah, it's good to see them looking after the wave, keeping it looking fresh. There's one thing I love about Adventure Cove over there. Everything's very bright and colourful, which is obviously quite hard for people like theme parks to maintain, especially with our weather. When it's hot and sunny, things get faded, and when it's cold and wet like today, then obviously things can get damaged and dampened by the rain. So yeah, it's good to see them looking after all of that, and the wave finally getting the nice wash that it deserves. We just had a ride on Accelerator. It's still in its confused state with the old signs on this side, the new signs on the other side. No signs of the queue line having anything different. Still got the brown tunnel at the start and then back into the car garage. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that over the next couple of years. And what's going to happen over here as well. Because I had a look, there's no markings on the ground, no sign of a new ride coming, no sign of anywhere that could be moving to, so who knows what's going to happen. So that's it from this little closed season update. Won't be back at the park now until the end of March. I think it's the last weekend of March that it reopens for the main season. They're celebrating 75 years of Drayton Manor this year. And I did notice on the drive on the way up, all the signs and flags have been replaced, and as you drive up the drive, it takes you through the different centuries that they've been open, and there's photos of the rides that were there at them times. So right from the 1950s all the way up to the 2020s, So look out for that when you come. I like that, there's a bit of nostalgia going on there. I've just had a look over the fence at Vikings and there's nothing happening there. I thought maybe the Flying Dutchman had moved there, but it doesn't look like it. We've been rained off today. We have checked out the half-term event. I might put some footage at the end in a minute. It was really good actually. It's a shame about the weather, but a really good event for kids this half-term, and it's been really busy actually around the park. Right, it's time to get back to the car. It's windy, it's wet. It's not very nice, but if you've enjoyed this update, please give the video a like. And if you like Drayton Manor and like to keep up to date with everything going on, then subscribe to the channel, because I'm here quite a lot and I make a lot of videos from Drayton Manor. But for this one, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.